How to build a winning O-1 visa case. Insider secrets from approved applicants. Did you know that over 80% of O-1 visa applicants get denied for one critical reason? They fail to prove their extraordinary ability. Now, but here's what immigration officers don't tell you. Those who get approved are not necessarily more accomplished than those who get rejected. They simply understand how to present their achievement in a way that fits exactly what USCIS is looking for. In this video, I'm giving you the exact blueprint that has helped our clients secure O-1 visa approvals in as little as 2 weeks, even after previous rejections. See, the data doesn't lie. While the overall O-1 visa approval rate hovers around 83%, our strategic approach has yielded a 97% approval rate across industries, from tech and business to art and sciences. By the end of this video, you will know precisely how to position your achievement to prove your extraordinary ability, the exact format recommendation letters that immigration officers respond to, and the 3 critical questions your petition must answer to get approved. I will break down the real definition of extraordinary ability, because it's not what most people think. How to transform ordinary achievement into compelling evidence, the anatomy of powerful recommendation letters, and the narrative structure that ties your case together, and the #1 mistake that causes instant rejections. Imagine receiving approval notice, knowing you've secured one of the most prestigious visas available, one that recognizes you as among the top 1% in your field. Now imagine the doors this opens: working with leading US companies, building your startup in Silicon Valley, or advancing your career at the highest levels. If you're serious about your O-1 visa journey, hit that subscribe button right now. I share insider immigration strategies every week that you won't find anywhere else. So let's get started. First, let's clear up the biggest misconception about the O-1 visa. You do not need to be famous or a household name. Immigration officers are looking for industry recognition, not public recognition. This distinction is very important. Now think of it this way: O-1 visa equals being in the top 1% of your specific industry. Not globally famous, but highly respected by peers in your field. One of our clients, a blockchain developer from Nigeria, thought he didn't qualify because he wasn't known outside of tech circles, but his innovations had been adopted by 3 financial institutions. He had spoken at 2 industry conferences, and his research was cited in several technical publications. USCIS approved his case in 17 days. Why? Because we positioned his achievement to show he was among the top blockchain developers in his niche, not that he was a celebrity. So, what exactly counts as evidence of extraordinary ability? USCIS looks for you to meet at least 3 of these 8 criteria: nationally or internationally recognized awards, membership in associations requiring outstanding achievement, published material about you in professional publications, judging the work of others in your field, original contributions of major significance, authorship of scholarly articles, display of work, exhibition or showcases, and finally, high salary or remuneration compared to others in your field. And later in this video, I will review how one of our clients turned a small industry award into compelling evidence that satisfied 2 criteria simultaneously. But first, let's look at how to present your achievement effectively. See, having impressive achievements is not enough. You need to present them in a way that speaks directly to immigration officers. For example, most applicants present their achievement like, I developed an AI algorithm that improved efficiency by 40%. But a better way to do that would sound like this: I developed a proprietary machine learning algorithm that reduced processing time by 40%, saving my company $2.3 million annually. This innovation was featured in TechCrunch and led to my invitation as a keynote speaker at the 2024 AI Summit in San Francisco. You see the difference? The second version doesn't just state the achievement, it quantifies the impact, shows third-party validation, and demonstrate recognition by industry experts. Okay, so let me give you a real example. Sarah, a fashion designer, had created collections for several brands, but didn't think that was enough for an O-1. When we dug deeper, we discovered her designs had been featured in Vogue twice. She had been invited to judge a regional fashion competition. A major department store had dedicated a special section to her collection. By properly documenting and presenting this achievement, Sarah's O-1 was approved in 3 weeks. How do you elevate your own achievements? The way to do this is to quantify your impact. Whenever possible, revenue generated, users acquired, efficiency improved. Also, highlight third-party recognition like press features and industry mentions. Then, show how your work influenced others in your field, and document when you've been selected over others for speaking engagement and exclusive contracts and the likes. And finally, collect evidence of high remuneration compared to industry standard. The next area we're focusing on is recommendation letters. You'll be surprised at how many applicants ruin their chances with poorly written letters. Your recommendation letters can make or break your O-1 application, but there is a science to creating letters that actually convince immigration officers. Let me show you the difference between a weak letter and a strong one. A weak letter would have something like, John is a great worker and highly skilled developer. Very basic and hardly sells John as an exceptional professional. Now listen to this. As the CTO of XYZ Technologies, I can attest that John Doe's machine learning algorithm represents a breakthrough in natural language processing that has been adopted by 3 Fortune 500 companies. Its innovation reduced processing errors by 78%, setting a new industry standard that was recognized at the 2024 AI Summit, where John was one of only 5 experts invited to present their work. Now, if you were the officer conducting the review, you already know which one gets the stamp. A powerful recommendation letter must include the recommender's credential and authority in your field, specific examples of your extraordinary work, not a general praise, comparison to others in your field, how you stand out, industry impact of your contributions, concrete evidence of your recognition. One of our clients, a documentary filmmaker, received a generic letter from an Oscar-winning director. Despite the impressive source, the letter was too vague to help her case. We helped her request a revised letter that specifically mentioned how her documentary techniques influenced the director's own work, statistical context showing she was among the top 1% of documentary filmmakers, specific festivals that had recognized her work over hundreds of other submissions. This detailed letter helped secure her approval despite having fewer mainstream credits than many applicants. The next question you probably have on your mind is, who should write your letters? Target these sources. Recognized experts in your field, okay, with credentials clearly stated. Executives at major companies in your industry. Publishers, producers, or investors who have backed your work. Academic authorities if your work has theoretical significance, okay? Clients who can verify the exceptional nature of your services. Remember that client I mentioned who turned a small award into compelling evidence? She had won a regional tech innovation competition by itself, not extraordinary. But we secured a letter from the competition organizer detailing that she was selected from over 500 applicants. Her solution outperformed entries from engineers at Google and Microsoft, and her innovation was subsequently adopted by 2 enterprise clients. This single award, with proper documentation, satisfied both the award criterion and the original contribution criterion. Now, talk about killing 2 birds with a stone. At this point, I must mention that the O-1 visa isn't just about documents, it's about telling the right story. Immigration officers need to see how your journey fits into the bigger picture. Your case must answer these 3 critical questions. How did you rise to the top of your field, your journey? Why does the US specifically need your talent? That's your unique value. And number 3, what impact will your work continue to have? And that's your future contributions. Think of your petition like a compelling documentary about your career. It needs a clear beginning, that is, your rise to prominence. Middle, that is, your current extraordinary standing. And the end, which is your future impact in the US. To capture all of these 3, you need a narrative approach. This narrative approach is exactly how we help clients with recommendations letter too. We provide recommenders with context about how their letter fits into the larger story, ensuring every letter strengthens the overall narrative instead of just repeating the same point. Now, in the process of doing everything I have been talking about since the beginning of this video, there are mistakes you need to avoid, okay? For instance, a critical mistake that causes instant rejection is submitting a generic template-based petition. Immigration officers review dozens of petitions daily. They can immediately spot a generic application that hasn't been customized to demonstrate extraordinary ability in your specific field. Some common mistakes that trigger immediate skepticism are vague descriptions of accomplishments, recommendation letters that all follow the same template, lack of specific industry context, mismatched evidence, that is, using criteria that don't fit in your field, over-reliance on future potential rather than past achievement. See, one client came to us after a rejection. He was a brilliant AI researcher, but his previous application had relied heavily on academic credentials rather than showing his actual industry impact. We reframed his case to emphasize how his research had been implemented by 2 major tech companies, the commercial impact of his algorithms with specific metrics, his role in judging an international AI competition, press coverage of his innovations in specialized industry publications. His resubmitted petition was approved in 14 days. So this is what I need you to remember. The O-1 is not about being good at your job. It's about proving you are among the best in your field. Every piece of information, every piece of evidence should reinforce this central claim. The strategic approach I have shared with you in this video is how we've achieved our 97% approval rate. So if you're serious about your O-1 petition, take the first step today. The link in the description will let you book a free case evaluation where we'll assess your specific achievement and give you honest feedback about your chances. Now, let's bring this all together, okay? The O-1 visa is attainable if you understand the true meaning of extraordinary ability in your specific field. Transform your achievement into compelling evidence. Secure powerful, specific recommendation letters. Craft a cohesive narrative that ties everything together. And then avoid the generic approach that triggers instant rejections. Don't forget, immigration officers are not looking for celebrities. They're looking for experts who are at the top of their specific fields. Your extraordinary ability deserves recognition too, and the right strategy can make all the difference between denial and approval. If this video has been helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more insider immigration strategies. I will see you next time. Bye for now.